Good morning, everybody. Here. Is that good enough? I think that's good enough. Morning, everybody. It is another morning here. Reading the Bible. Thank you for waking up this morning to join me in going over the book of Proverbs. Definitely a good book to go through. And before we get started, I do like to go over my baselines. This came from I'm gonna put this on every one of my descriptions, and so that we know what they are as we're going. It started only like a few days ago, but better late than never. Maybe I'll put on all my other videos, but the baselines is the 7 pillars of wisdom is purity, peacefulness, gentleness, reasonableness, full mercy, good fruits, partiality, and sincerity. And so when I'm talking about baselines, I'm talking about what you should know generally about Proverbs and what they're teaching, so you just know ahead of time. So the 7 pillars of wisdom is first and foremost kind of what it is. And the next thing is the fear of the Lord. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of the wisdom, which we find in Proverbs 1. And so following God and wisdom go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. It's they're together. If you're just following wisdom and don't know God, it's kind of like through proxy you're following God. Living righteously is to have integrity. Those who follow wisdom have sound mind, takes responsibility. They have no problem saying sorry. They heeds the instructions of others, especially consider the words of others. You're not fearing instructions, but take some really into consideration, and you change yourself based off of the advice given. Righteous living, or the life, which they talk about in Proverbs a lot, is leads to spiritual well-being, God's favor, and the eternal life. Their words provide sustenance for themselves, their families, and others. Galatians 5:22-23 is the way of wisdom. Also, it's that good fruits: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, self-control, faithfulness. Against such there is no law. And recently we just talked about the tongue and watching what you say, for out of your mouth out of your heart come your words. So good or bad, you speak it. And if you are bad in heart towards someone and you say kind words to them, you're being a hypocrite. If you're having a problem with someone, tell them how it is and build relationship. We could go on that for a long time, but let's go with today's verse. We're in verse chapter 10, verse 20-21. My voice is still dry. Here we go. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver. The heart of the wicked is of little worth. The lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for lack of sense. So here's let me go with the comparisons. We're talking about the tongue of the righteous, heart of the wicked, lips of the righteous, and fools. All right. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver. Heart of the wicked, little worth. They do this in purple? I do. Feed many and die. The fools die for lack of sense. Okay. Let's pick this part apart a little bit. Okay. So the first part is talking about 20a. Yea, the tongue of the righteous is choice silver. Just the word itself, choice silver, is keep on envisioning someone who goes to a jewelry store or a place where you could purchase like precious minerals or metals. And then you go and find the best of the lot, and they're already good. And we already know for those people who are righteous, especially righteous living, is they're spirit filled, following God. And the idea is it's good. Like when you hear the person who is speaking of wisdom, it is like it makes sense. It's logical. It's of God, and it actually puts you in a path that is correct. Generally speaking, a path that is appropriate. Okay, that that only leads to positivity. That leads to, well, if we go with the seven pillars, it's reasonable. Um, it's sincere. It feels like the way to go. Right. And if you're a follower, that's good. Again, if you're wicked, a fool, then you won't listen to it anyways. But even if it's the best advice in the whole world, a person who is not righteous or can't think in that way will not be able to handle it, reproof or instruction, because they want to go on their own. And it's fine. We live in a society where the independent person is valued and they can live on their own. Okay. But the thing is that the heart of the wicked, the person who is seeking deceit, being a hypocrite, doing all the things, this is 20b, is a little worth. They say stuff, it's kind of like, oh, okay. Now, or if a righteous person hears what a wicked person says, it's kind of like, oh, okay, thank you for that. They'll be polite and gentle about it and stuff like that. But if they're led, it is kind of appropriate for a righteous person who knows better, kind of disagree and just say, no, I don't think so. They could say it gently, but they could call them out and just say, hey, what you're doing, long run, it is not appropriate. So for instance, I could see like a teenager say, hey, try the cigarette, good for you, be a part of the crowd and stuff like that. You could go ahead and say no, like, hey, no, I want to take care of my body. I'm an athlete, don't want to ruin my lungs, because studies show that, smoking kind of messes up your lungs. So no, but you'll be with friends. Yeah, friends won't cause other people to hurt themselves, and that's what you're doing. So you could use reasonableness and gentleness to go ahead and sincerely, you want to take care of yourselves, and actually after you say no, it's like, you know what, it's not good for you. I would actually argue that you shouldn't do it at all. I don't know how it goes out with friends and stuff, but that's what it is. Verse 21, the lips of the righteous feed many. You know what? When it talks about feeding many, it's talking about giving life. You're feeding someone, you're giving life. And the person who is righteous, the person who is using wisdom, and then out in their heart is in the right place, it's the intentions. What is your intentions? What is your reasons? And if your heart is in the right place, you will feed many. And actually, the words of the righteous it's wise, it's good, and it's life giving. And that's the one thing that is different, like a big one that's different between the words of a righteous person versus the words of someone who's wicked, is that their words, the righteous, give life. It's life giving. And so if you're going through our baselines and going through the things that are there, you'll notice that every single one of the things in our baselines deal with a life-giving attitude. It's your attitude of your heart. Again, verse 20 talks about the heart of the wicked, but you also could contrast that with the heart of the righteous. What is the intention of the person who is saying something? Is it life-giving, or is it leading to destruction? And actually, that's a spiritual sense, destruction. And I want to say that, and maybe emotional and relational, but they may have material wealth. I'm not saying that fools or wicked people are not being successful. They could be totally successful in this world. They could have all the money in the world, but if they don't have God, I feel like what it's saying here is they could have material wealth, but still have lack wisdom in being gentle, being reasonable, being partial. It's possible. So I can't judge rich people. I'm not a rich person, so I can't understand the mind of a rich person. Because, like I said before, I'm a middle class person. I understand the person who semi struggles in life. Um, so people who lack wisdom and have money, yeah, they could waste it, or maybe they could be really good with the money. It's just that they have terrible relationships or the way they treat people. So I don't know. It's very nuanced, and so it's something you have to not judge. I can't judge people who I don't know at all. Um, they say on the news that people who own businesses and stuff like that, at one, they they're really smart and wise and stuff like that, and that's great. Whether they follow God or not, that's or are actually wise, I don't know. They're wise enough to be successful in money, so there's that. In the other sense, that's not for me to judge because I'm not one of them. So for me, I just worry about people around my life, my family, friends, coworkers, and the people I interact with. And so I'll do my best. And there's one situation that happened um, the other day where my wife interacted with a woman who had autism, and she actually used her condition as justification for bad things to happen to my children. And so she had therapy dogs, and from my understanding, therapy dogs are there so that they calm um aggressiveness in people and stuff like that. So you could go to therapy dog if you're starting to lose it. People who have a hard time in self control to kind of lose it, the therapy dogs are there to go ahead. That's my understanding. They're there to go ahead and help calm them because having a big gigantic dog who is there kind of there. Okay. So these were kind of like quote unquote therapy dogs in training. And basically the dog ran after like ran and tripped up my son, making him fall and he bled and kind of jumped on my children and then jumped on my wife. And I don't know how much control therapy dogs should have, but I'm pretty sure they're not supposed to cause trauma for my children or my wife. And so my wife is allergic to dogs. And from my understanding, when a dog jumps on you, you lift your knee up and push them off and kind of let them know no, because there are boundaries that dogs have to know. And so, and on command, they should stop. But these dogs didn't. And when my wife tried to push off the dog who was jumping on her, which she doesn't want to jog, um, the lady said, "No, it'll make it worse. They're therapy dogs." How can a therapy dog who is supposed to cause kids to um be at peace, cause trauma to our own kids? No, but your therapy dogs. I'm also autistic and stuff like that. No, that's not a justification. Um, and they're in training. And so she was trying to say words that allowed her to go ahead and not be responsible for things that happen. And so, yeah, just like what it said in Proverbs, like if you are following wisdom and stuff like that, you will take responsibility and kind of think about that. But again, I'm just happy that my family was safe. I will kick dogs who are chasing after me, push them off, even if they're the friendliest people in the world, friendliest dogs in the world. Um, I'll kick them off if I don't want them. So, anyways, that's how I say my life. I don't know if my life's in danger. I don't know if they have their shots. Um, stripped of my kid, you know. So Anyways, watch your words. Think about what you're saying. Watch your intentions. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for joining me this morning, and hope you learned something, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.